you, Charlotte, KJ, Vivian, Alex, and Emily, for that beautiful performance, and the Chapel Council for making tonight happen, and a special thank you to Caroline for that amazing introduction. In my room, I have a sign that has a quote written by Charles Swindoll, and it states, "The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life." Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstance, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitude, end quote. This quote has been read to me by my dad since I can remember. He would make me read it after any time I gave him attitude. It was printed out and hung on our kitchen cabinet. At first, I resented this idea of attitude. I assumed the word attitude was a negative connotation that weakened my character. Over the years, I realized that attitude is not a weakness. It is my greatest strength. Everything leading up to this realization involved judgment of myself, which altered my relationships. In this very moment, my relationship with all of you is being altered based on how you view me. The actions I take and the words I speak shape the way you think of me as a friend, student, teammate, and much more. Although the way you view me or anyone else does not matter, that image or idea you have dictates your behavior, action, and/or attitude towards me. A flaw of mine is that I'm quick to judge. Being judgmental is not a problem unless it becomes a barrier. For me, it has. I judge myself for my own thoughts and feelings. This is my way of protecting my relationships. I believe if I'm not happy and smiling, I'll ruin someone else's day. This time last year, this flaw was my greatest enemy. As some of you may know, my brother, Oro, withdrew in October of last year. My brother is my lifeline. He knows me better than anyone. He has made me cry the most and laugh the hardest. I always tell people he's my best friend. He just doesn't know it yet. Being able to attend boarding school with my brother was an opportunity I'm so fortunate to be given. Nobody warns you about what life is like when you're separated. During a time when I needed him most, he made mistakes he could not take back. When I found out he withdrew, I took off running to Burton. As I passed Guest House, I could see down the hill to my dad's truck, which was packed. 5 minutes later, Orem hugged me, said he was sorry, and that he loves me. As my family drove off, I was standing on West Road wondering what I was supposed to do next. Going from seeing my brother every day to an occasional text left me feeling stranded. I was worried for my mental state and his. He was going back to an environment where the sole purpose of attending boarding school was to escape. My parents' disagreements were escalating, and now my brother was caught in crossfire. As a little girl, my parents would argue, but they promised that divorce was never an option. I believed them. Last year, my dad moved out for the time being, and I resented my parents for lying to me. Thankfully, things got better, but during this time, I was at school spiraling, worrying about what was happening at home. If my brother was okay, if things were getting better, I'd go home and worry when the next fight would be. At school, I would stay up, thinking about my brother, blaming myself for not being able to protect him. I still think about this time with a heavy heart. Life felt like a game of whack-a-mole. Every time I tried to come up for air, I would be hit down over and over again. This went on for months. I told myself if I asked for help, I was making other lives harder. I felt like a burden. So my only option was to leave. I felt that Millbrook was not supporting me, but in fact, I was denying all support coming my way. I went to visit other schools because I wanted change. I hate change. Before I left for my visit, Mr. Downs caught wind of my boarding school search and sat me down to listen to why I felt the need to leave. Mrs. Eliza Pecchia and I had a similar conversation, both telling me my journey here was not over. I didn't believe them. I followed through with my plan to visit other schools and spent the 3-hour car ride back to campus in hysterics. I didn't want to leave Millbrook. Mr. Downs and Mrs. Pecchia were right. My journey here wasn't over. This would be a great time to say things started looking up, but they didn't. I was mentally struggling more than I ever have, and there was no escape. At home, things were getting worse, and I felt like everywhere I turned, there was no relief. From February to April, quite a few of my friends got into multiple car accidents. A 16-year-old girl got in an accident with one of my closest friends in the passenger seat. He kept telling her things were going to be okay. He was the only one to make it. How come my problems seem so grand when so many people in my community were suffering? This is where my mindset began to change. But I was still not listening to myself. Every day I told myself things could not get worse, but they did. I fixated on how I might have made the wrong decision by staying. Ultimately, staying at Millbrook was the best decision I've ever made. Reflecting on last year, I realized my issue was my attitude. I preached the importance of attitude in life, yet I was not listening to my own words. I kept telling myself things would get better, but they weren't, because I wasn't making a change. I expected a different outcome with every circumstance I faced, but I approached them no differently. Attitude is the most important thing to me, and I lost sight of that. If I could give anyone advice, it would be ask for help. You are not a burden. You are known and needed. Do not forget that. And if things are not going your way, be the change. You will be better for it. And in terms of those struggling around you, don't hurt yourself trying to take someone else's pain away. Learning to use my attitude to understand these skills has helped me look at life from a new lens. When I put my attitude first, I am able to push myself out of my comfort zone and be the best version of myself. Just remember, everything happens for a reason. It may not seem like it now, but I promise the world is not spiteful of you. Stay the course, things will get better. Last year, I was not the person I wanted to be. So for those who met me during my 5th form year, I'm sorry. I would like to reintroduce myself. Hi, I'm Averell, and this is the Better Me. Thank you.